In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 ways to get a handle on cravings. Really quick, for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Carrie. I'm the creator of Psycho-Spiritual Wellness, and that is my approach to help you learn how to stop overeating and feel normal around food through 100% psychological and spiritual practices. Psycho is for psychology, the spiritual is for spirituality, psycho-spiritual wellness. I have been getting a lot of questions lately about cravings and how to handle them. So I'm going to talk about the 3 main causes of cravings and the 3 solutions that correlate with those causes. I'm going to talk about the biggie first, and that is there really is, I think, a biological, physiological reason why we get addicted to certain foods, especially sugar and junk food. The human brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, and there's tons of research on how addicting things like sugar are. However, in Psycho-Spiritual Wellness, I do not talk about diet or exercise because that is not my area of expertise. I cannot deny that there is a physiological cause for cravings. However, sometimes the cause of the cravings is simply that we have been eating unhealthy foods for too long. So if we're eating tons of brownies, our brain is kind of like wired to crave that sugary dopamine hit from eating brownies. Now, I think that most people who struggle with overeating have a really high degree of willpower. I have a video on it below. It's one of my favorite videos, but I think that you already have tons of willpower. And so I think that you can already get a handle on your cravings, because if you're craving a brownie, I think that at your core, you already have the willpower you need to stop. But I think that the reason why we get tripped up here is because we have made things like brownies off limits. We have created all of these rules and restrictions around food, and so when you add that layer of just making something more tempting by having it not allowed, that's when we get into trouble. So my first solution for getting a handle on cravings is to actually give up dieting and food rules. I talk about this a lot. I have a lot of helpful guides for you. I'll link them down below. I've got a video on how to give up dieting. I also have a video on the stages of giving up dieting, because I know this is a really scary, risky, tricky thing to do. It is not easy, and that's why it can be really helpful to work with a coach like me. I will link to coaching below as well. But that is pretty much how I can oversimplify in this video and unwind that sort of physiological reason for cravings. Is that yes, when you're eating junk food, your brain, your body is wired to continue to crave those things, and I think you already have the willpower you need to not have those things when you're not hungry. And I think that the only place we get in trouble is when we make those foods off limits. So the first solution is to give up dieting and prepare yourself to go through the stages of giving up dieting. The second cause, I think, of cravings is hedonic eating. Hedonic eating is when we eat to gain pleasure, whereas emotional eating is eating to numb negative emotion. Hedonic eating is just eating to gain pleasure. And I think that cravings can be really hard to resist if you are hedonic eating. Again, humans are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So if you're not getting pleasure in your life outside of food, it's going to be so hard to strong arm your cravings, because you're just trying to have some joy in your life. And so what you should do, the second solution, is to add joy to your life outside of food. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Pick up a hobby that is meaningful to you and take care of yourself and have fun outside of food. And that will take the magnetic pull away from these foods, right? There is no magic cure here. We're not magically making the cravings go away, but what we're doing here through psycho-spiritual wellness is we are disempowering the cravings. We are taking the magnetic pull away from the food so that you then have more access to the free will that you already have to choose not to succumb to these cravings when you're not hungry. I think that if you want a brownie and you're hungry, you should have the brownie. That is my opinion. That is my non-medical opinion. The third reason that also goes along with this is that another reason why cravings are so seductive and hard to resist is that most of the time we are using food to numb a negative emotion. We are using food to buffer ourselves from feeling some sort of uncomfortable feeling. And so a large part of our work here is to learn how to develop tolerance for discomfort, how to develop emotional tolerance, and be willing to be uncomfortable. And so my third tool, surprise, surprise, is the stop, drop, and feel. Whenever you have a craving and it's driving you nuts, do the stop, drop, and feel. Drop into your body and ask yourself, what am I feeling? And let me know what comes up. Leave me a comment, send me an email, and I'm happy to help you through it. At the end of it all, again, we're not making these emotions go away. We're not making the cravings go away. What we're doing is we are empowering you to be able to honor your body. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. And so when you do the stop, drop, and feel, and you make space for these feelings, they get a little disempowered. They do not go away completely, but when you make space for these feelings, let's say it's anxiety, when you make space for your anxiety to coexist with you, it takes the pull away from the cravings. So then you can choose not to have whatever it is that you want when you're not hungry. Bonus fourth step that came up while I started filming this is the psychospiritual eating guidelines. I don't think I talk about these enough. So when in doubt, follow the psychospiritual eating guidelines. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, and feel your feelings when you want to eat when you're not hungry. That is the foolproof formula for achieving your natural weight and getting a grip on overeating and getting a grip on cravings. If you're craving something and you're hungry, let yourself have it. And as you progress through this journey, I guarantee you that you're going to stop craving unhealthy things. Because right now, those unhealthy things, like the brownie I keep using as an example, is so magnetic. It pulls us so much because we spend so much energy resisting it. And so as you progress on this journey and you learn how to stop dieting and you start to unwind the neuroses around food, you'll learn to become more in sync with your body, and I think you will truly find that you don't crave unhealthy foods all the time. I know how scary it can be in the beginning, right? When we're coming from a dieting mentality background, when we're coming from a restricting background, it is terrifying to let go of the rules around food because we think we're going to gain 1,000 pounds. We think we're going to eat everything in sight. And when you equip yourself with all of the tools that I have been talking about in this video, the stop, drop, and feel, the psychospiritual eating guidelines, training in being uncomfortable, when you equip yourself with these tools, you really can get to a place where someone can put a platter of sweets in front of you and you just don't want it. These days, I hardly eat sweets at all, but when I want them, I make sure I let myself have them. Because I used to eat sweets all the time. I used to just eat tons of cookies and brownies, and it was because they were off limits and they were so seductive and I just wanted to eat them all the time. And now that I can have them, I just don't have them unless I really want them, which is rare. So there you have it. The 4 tools to conquer cravings is to give up dieting and also mentally prepare yourself for the stages of giving up dieting. There's really useful articles below on that. Second is to add more joy to your life to make sure that you are not hedonic eating. Third is to do the stop, drop, and feel all day, every day. You do not have to wait until you are triggered to do the stop, drop, and feel. Doing the stop, drop, and feel when you're not triggered is a great way to develop emotional awareness. Stop, drop, and feel in general is just a great way to develop the emotional tolerance necessary to succeed. And lastly, do your best to follow the psychospiritual eating guidelines. I will link to them down below. They are very simple. Eat when you're hungry, eat exactly what appeals to you when you're hungry, stop when you're full, and feel your feelings when you want to eat when you're not hungry. My name is Carrie. I will link to coaching down below. Coaching is open right now, so I am taking new clients and I would be happy to work with you. And the only other thing I feel compelled to share is the reason why I always have wet hair in these videos. And it is because whenever I'm taking a shower is when all of the best ideas hit me, and then I get too impatient. I get too hot to blow dry my hair and then film these, so I feel like in half my videos my hair is just wet. In my most watched video, the Stop, Drop, and Feel, my hair is just crazy wet and messy, and I think it's just a thing that's going to keep happening. So I am signing off. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to get your hands on my best content, I really recommend signing up for my free ebook on psychospiritual wellness, and that will put you in the loop on my Tuesday newsletters. That is where I send my best content. I think I'm a better writer than I am a video producer. So I hope to see you in your inbox, and I'll see you guys next time.